The Crusades, a series of religious wars sanctioned by the Latin Church during the medieval period with the goal of reclaiming the Holy Land from Muslim rule. But while the stated objective of the Crusades was the capture of Jerusalem, the wars had an even greater impact on the political map of Europe. In fact, the Crusades completely reshaped the kingdoms and duchies of Europe. So let's talk about how, when Pope Urban II announced the First Crusade in 1095, most European kingdoms were still dominated by feudalism, a decentralized system of government in which power was distributed among a multitude of lords and vassals. But the Pope hoped that the common goal of reclaiming the Holy Land would inspire a united Christendom, at least in the military sphere. And to some extent he was successful. The First Crusade resulted in the establishment of several Crusader states in the Levant, with the Kingdom of Jerusalem reigning supreme from 1100 to 1291. But back in Europe, the effects of the Crusades were already being felt. See, when a bunch of nobles left on crusade, their lands were temporarily put in the hands of a monarch or another noble, and that arrangement often proved to be quite convenient for the rulers of Europe. For example, in England, the participation of English nobles in the First Crusade helped to strengthen the royal monopoly on military power. And when Louis VI went on crusade, the weakened French monarchy was able to use the opportunity to seize lands from rebellious nobles and consolidate royal authority. In fact, the only European state that was actually created as a result of the Crusades was the Kingdom of Sicily, which was established by the Normans after they conquered the island from the Byzantines and the Arabs. By the end of the 12th century, the Kingdom of Sicily was a powerhouse of Mediterranean trade and the seat of a new cultural fusion between Europe, Africa, and the Middle East. But while the Crusades did result in the creation of several new kingdoms, its most lasting effect was the destruction of feudalism. As the power of European monarchs increased, the power of the feudal lords declined. And as the Crusades continued into the 13th century, the large-scale commitment of knights to holy wars declined as well. Instead, professional standing armies became the norm, composed of soldiers who were paid to fight, often by the very same kings who had seized the opportunity presented by the Crusades to build powerful centralized states. As far as the geopolitical order of medieval Europe is concerned, the Crusades were a resounding success for the Latin Church. But the wars weren't nearly as decisive in the Middle East. While Christian armies did manage to capture Jerusalem in 1099, Muslim forces soon launched a counteroffensive